everyone, it's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here for another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. So what's been going on with CIG the last 2 months? The information downloads that they've been giving us have been immense, filled with information and terms and technology updates that have been blowing my mind. And it's only because I've got so used to them just talking about ships. Just talking about things that would be coming out later, not soon. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they start just dumping all this information on us. So you have to take a step back and ask yourself when that happens, are they doing this because they suddenly figured it out? Or are they doing this to quell the population's dissent? I had to put myself into a position of where was I 4 years ago when I started Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous? And where was I in January when I came very close to just stopping the show for a while? There's a lot of early YouTubers that have already walked away from the show, from their shows about Star Citizen. One of my favorites was Wes with The Whole Truth. And I think it's because after a while, when you're doing a news show, when you're doing a show that's pushing the enthusiasm, that excitement about the game, after a while, it's just not exciting anymore because the game's not there. And I started looking at things going, all right, where are we? What's going on? Is this real information or is it just fodder? So I loaded up my Aurora, put it into my hangar, walked around it, and started to think about what's going on. And I got to a place where I said, oh my God, they're on track. Everything's coming at us like a freight train. All right, why did I come up with this? It's very simple. Let's look at some of the information over the last month. I think it was, well, actually maybe 6 weeks ago. They started talking about assumption and talking about how the NPCs in the game are going to interact with each other and you. They started talking about their schedules. This is a person that works inside of a bar. This is a person that works inside of a shop. But they also have other lives. When do they go to the shop and open it? What do they do when they leave? Do they go buy things themselves? Do they go home? When do they sleep? When do they eat? When do they get up? When do they clean themselves? When do they go back to work? And when they're at work, let's take a barkeep. How often do they sit there and wipe their bar? When do they come out from behind the bar, wipe some tables? The waitresses, how often do they make rounds on the NPCs sitting at the tables? So they're trying to build this world that's much more dynamic, much more livable. But in the beginning, it was talking about theory. Now it's talking about making it work, to the point where they're concerned with the animations of walking, the animations of transitioning from a walk to a run to standing still. All this stuff is exciting to me because it's not just the idea of what's going on in the game anymore. It's the mechanic of that idea. It's the implementation of that idea. And when you get to that, you start getting excited again. So I got excited again. And I didn't want to go load up a huge ship or a brand new spanking new ship. I just wanted to load up the ship that I was using at the time when I built my excitement, which was my Aurora. So I started thinking about other things that they talked about. And I got to the point where I started thinking about outposts, something that they just showed us this week. Outposts. Something that could just be so simple to just drop buildings down on a planet. Something that could be as simple as just give them odd shapes, make them, just make them there, make them livable. And if they were just trying to throw something out there like spaghetti to hit the wall and see what sticks, they wouldn't be putting so much time into making sure that they were reproducible, easy to lay down on planets so they can do it in the future, in future updates, as things grow in the game. And they made it modular enough that you could have a diverse set of these outposts that from one to the other look kind of the same, but absolutely look different, including that they're adding the item port system on them so they could actually make them modular themselves in the way that they handle different pieces of equipment, maybe mining equipment, maybe loading and unloading, maybe science, maybe a small outpost that gets put on a planet or asteroid that you just discovered. All of this stuff started to make me go, wow, it's coming. It's no longer that information that they're just throwing at us. And then they throw out an update like 2.6.3, 2.6.2, the two updates, one a major one a hotfix over the last week. And those two updates actually brought in something that was very important. One thing was the mega map, and we talked about that last week. Mega map makes the user experience better. And all you have to do is go into Arena Commander or Star Marine, see how quick your load times are, see how quick it is to get back to the main menu and to get into a new game, and you'll understand what Mega Map is for the future. Now, that's just one piece of the pie, right? It still has to hit the PU. In fact, the PU has to expand to the point where it encompasses some of the older parts of the game, aka our hangar and Area 18. So they all become one giant piece of the game. So you can seamlessly go between your hangar, Area 18, and Port Olisar. And I'm not talking about just appear there. I'm talking about you get in a ship on your hangar. Maybe that hangar is somewhere in Area 18. You take off. You point your ship's nose towards the sky. You fly up into the out of the atmosphere into space, and then head yourself over from Stanton over to, of course, Port Olisar, which is around a different planet. That is going to be the fun part of it. Now, in the past, all the questions I'd be asking Ben and the other developers had to do with the whens. How are you going to do it? And I'd walk away feeling, oh, that's great. I can't wait to see that. And I'd add time to whatever they said. Let's give you, for instance, on this week's show, Ben and I were talking, and we were talking about there being a 2.7. He said, no, we're going straight to 3.0. I said, oh, is that going to be something that you show at Gamescom or something that you show at CitizenCon? He goes, well, hopefully we have it out before Gamescom. And I started going, all right, in the past, I'd take that statement, add 2 to 3 months to it, just because that's what you do whenever CIG tells you something, and then add a month on it just because I don't want to be wrong, and I don't want to look like an idiot to my fans, so I'm going to add a little bit of sand in there on top of the 2 to 3 months. So if I go, all right, June, July, August, September, October. All right. That would put me right at CitizenCon. That would have been where and why I said that to Ben in the first place. But now I'm looking at Ben's statement. I'm looking at things like all the information they've dumped on us over the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, and I'm deciding that, all right, it's time to give them some credit. They know what they're doing. And they're finally showing us the mechanics. They're not just talking about things, answering questions like Rob and Eric did so long ago on Wingman's Hangar, getting the fluff pieces about people like they did on Around the Verse for the first year and a half, 2 years. They are giving us hard information and then supporting it by showing us it in-game. And I'm starting to feel like, all right, they got it. They understand what we want. But not only do they understand what we want, but they're on track to deliver what they're saying. Okay, I could be let down hard at this point because I'm starting to believe again. And I believe so much, I took this Aurora that you're watching out into an Arena Commander and said, I'm not even going to change the weaponry. I'm going to see how far a new person is going to go in this because it's getting exciting again. This game is going to it's going to start bringing a lot of new people back to play the game, people that haven't played for a long time, people that are playing for the first time, people that are checking it out with their friends. And I want to see what it's like to be in that early ship and go out into an Arena Commander and finish it. And this all has to do with me getting that belief, getting that excitement back for the game. And I lost it. I lost it big this year. After CitizenCon's disappointment, followed up by the disappointment of the 2 live streams, after the move to just hosting streamers I love, but streamers on their shows, I got to January and I started not doing videos the way I used to. I just didn't have any excitement left. I was like, what am I going to talk about? The horrible frame rate? The impossible to work around lag? The boring gameplay? The bad flight models? It was not fun. It wasn't exciting, and I wasn't getting the part of the game that I was there for. But things are changing. And I feel like they've finally got themselves on this track to deliver this game, and it's going to come. So what am I most excited about over the next few months? The first and most important thing is the Delta Patcher. Look at this week. We had a major patch, 2.6.2, and then we had a hotfix, 2.6.3. And for those of you that have data caps, oh my god, that was just way too much to download. So the Delta Patcher is going to make that 3.0 a reality. Because once 3.0 comes out, you won't want to be patching 30, 40, 50 gigs every time there's a minor update. The next piece that I got excited about was starting to see things come to fruition. Like the update to the Cutlass. It's one of those things that they said, yeah, we got to do this, we got to make it better for people. And, I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, some of these ships are good, some of these ships aren't. But when I started seeing them talk about this ship and seeing the differences in it and seeing how they incorporated most people's opinion into it, it was that straw, it was that last little piece of information that made me go, alright, they are serious, it's coming. Alright, so I hope these State of the Games over the next month to 2 months have a lot of information about that schedule they're going to start to post over on Robert Space Industries' website about the 3.0 production. Once we get to there, I'll be able to pick it apart, start picking my people internally who I'm going to talk to, and start delivering you those amazing shows again. I'm not sorry I left I'm not sorry I became less enthusiastic. It wasn't my fault. That was their fault. But I am excited again, and I hope that you'll be around to watch more videos. Remember, State of the Games is going to be one of 3 things. It's going to be rants by me. It's going to be me picking apart pieces of the universe, pieces of the game, and talking about how great they are or bad they are. Rants. Or it's going to be me talking about releases that just came out, like 2.6.3, and that's one that I did last week. Next week, I'm going to introduce a new contest or a new giveaway, and I'm just going to put this out there. Because mining is going to be coming sometime in 3.0, I'm going to be giving away a Prospector, and I'll tell you how that's going to go. And before I go, I just want to thank you all, first off, for watching, listening, and subscribing to my videos, and clicking that thumbs up button if you like it, and giving me clear and concise comments on how to make the show better. Thank you so much for that. And secondly, for making the last 7 days the most successful 7 days of my YouTube career. Thank you so much, folks. I really appreciate you watching the videos. And I can only say, wow, it's going to be amazing this year. And I'm knocking wood because I've been disappointed for the last 2. Alright, with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.